The Freemasons are one of the world's oldest and most mysterious fraternal organizations, with a history that stretches back hundreds of years. Despite being shrouded in secrecy, their influence has been undeniable, with many prominent figures throughout history having been members. The origins of the Freemasons can be traced back to the medieval stonemason guilds of Europe, but over time, the organization evolved into the modern fraternity that exists today, with a global presence and a set of traditions that continue to intrigue both historians and the public alike. The roots of Freemasonry lie in the medieval stonemason guilds that operated across Europe, particularly in the countries that made up what is now the United Kingdom. These guilds were groups of skilled workers responsible for constructing the great cathedrals, castles, and other stone structures that dominated the landscape during the Middle Ages. The stonemasons not only had to master the craft of stonework, but also the complex knowledge of geometry and architecture that went into creating such impressive structures. As a result, these guilds were highly organized and had a strict code of conduct and initiation rituals. The term Freemason itself is thought to have originated in the 14th century, with free referring to the idea that these craftsmen were not bound by feudal obligations, and mason denoting their work in stone. The medieval guilds were not just groups of workers, but also a social network, with members sharing knowledge, trade secrets, and, crucially, a sense of brotherhood. During this period, the term mason began to take on an additional layer of meaning, as members of the guilds adopted more symbolic language, linking their work to a higher moral purpose. The transition from operative stonemasonry to speculative Freemasonry is generally agreed to have taken place during the 16th and 17th centuries, when the membership of these guilds began to include individuals who were not stonemasons by trade, but were drawn to the organization for its social and philosophical aspects. This shift was particularly evident in England, where non-operative members, or gentlemen masons, joined the lodges. These individuals, many of whom were intellectuals, merchants, and aristocrats, saw in the organization a way to promote personal virtue, moral development, and civic responsibility. They began to introduce new rituals and symbols, transforming Freemasonry from a craft guild into a society with a strong philosophical and moral foundation. The formalization of the modern Masonic structure is often traced to 1717, when the Grand Lodge of England was founded in London. This event marked a turning point in the history of Freemasonry, as it led to the creation of a more standardized organization with a clearer set of rules and rituals. The Grand Lodge helped to establish lodges in other parts of the British Empire and beyond, leading to the spread of Freemasonry across Europe and the Americas. The rituals of initiation, which included elaborate ceremonies designed to symbolize the journey of personal and moral development, became a hallmark of the fraternity. These rituals, combined with the use of secret signs, handshakes, and symbols, contributed to the air of mystery and exclusivity that has surrounded the Freemasons for centuries. Freemasonry continued to grow throughout the 18th and 19th centuries, particularly in the wake of the Enlightenment, a period of intellectual and philosophical growth in Europe. During this time, many prominent figures, including philosophers, politicians, and military leaders, became Freemasons. The fraternity was seen by some as a place where men of intellect could come together to discuss ideas, promote reason, and support each other in their endeavors. Notable Freemasons of this era included figures such as George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Voltaire, and Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, all of whom were drawn to the fraternity's ideals of personal growth, equality, and brotherhood. However, the Freemasons have not been without controversy. Throughout history, the organization has been the subject of numerous conspiracy theories, with some alleging that Freemasonry has wielded secret power behind the scenes, manipulating political events and shaping global affairs. These theories have been fueled in part by the organization's secretive nature, its use of symbols that are difficult to decipher, and its traditions of initiation and ritual. Despite these claims, there is no substantial evidence to support the idea that the Freemasons are a shadowy, all-powerful organization pulling the strings of world events. Most historians agree that Freemasonry is more about personal development, community, and fellowship than it is about political control. In the modern era, the Freemasons continue to exist as a global organization, with lodges in many countries around the world. While the organization's membership has declined in recent decades, the Freemasons remain a significant presence in many communities, continuing to promote their ideals of charity, personal development, and social responsibility. The rituals, symbols, and history of the Freemasons still hold a fascination for many, and their legacy as one of the world's oldest and most influential fraternities endures to this day. In conclusion, the Freemasons have a rich and complex history that spans centuries, from the medieval stonemason guilds to the modern-day fraternity. While their origins are firmly rooted in the construction of the great cathedrals of Europe, their evolution into a society focused on moral development, philosophical inquiry, and social responsibility has made them a lasting force in the world. The mystique surrounding the Freemasons, combined with their many contributions to society, ensures that they will remain a topic of interest for generations to come.